So if you're lying in a side Shavasana, rather than lying like literally on the side of the body, whatever side you're on, just lean back into the shoulder blade a little bit. So give a bit of weight into the shoulder. So it should feel a little bit more comfortable that way. If you're on the back of your body, then you could have your legs extended. You could have your knees bent. So just starting in the way that works for you, works for your body, works for how you feel at 9:30 this morning. And perhaps closing out the eyes. So just giving ourselves a moment to arrive in our space. Be aware of how the body feels. How's the mind feel? How do you feel emotionally this morning? So having a check-in with that. Remembering any sensations, any emotions, anything is welcome. And how does the breath feel? So do you need a couple of deeper breaths to begin with, just to help you soften and relax? Or have you kind of met quite nicely with your natural flow of breath already? So moving into a new month, almost moving into spring. It almost happened, didn't it, like last weekend? So a new theme, and our theme for the month is tapas. So tapas is one of what we call the niyamas within our yoga practice. So a yama or a niyama you might have heard of. And these are kind of like guidelines for how we live our lives, so towards ourselves and towards like the greater collective, towards everyone else. So almost like a code of conduct. And tapas is roughly translated to discipline, or our inner fire, our courage, our passion. So like that bit of oomph. But it's also related to two other niyamas, so to self-study and to surrender. So being able to know ourselves, study ourselves, and perhaps change things that we want to change, that we need to change, but also knowing and having wisdom to kind of just surrender sometimes. And you can practice tapas on and off the mat. So effort and ease within your practice, finding that fire, finding that courage. That could be in balances, in warrior two. So that kind of real feeling of like, yeah. And also finding ease. So a mix between fire and then rest and coolness and ease. So you need both for that balance. So imagine a life of just being disciplined all the time, constantly just getting that internal fire raging without having the rest. So we need the rest to balance that. So you might want to start the practice if you have an intention, if you have a goal, if you have something that you feel you need a little bit of courage about for today, for this week, for this month, or maybe affirming that you need to find a better balance of rest. So if anything comes to mind, just holding that in the mind for a moment. You could affirm it by repeating it. And then let's gently roll over onto the back of the body. So just bringing the knees in towards the chest. You could hold the knees, the thighs, whatever you wish. Just soft roll from side to side. So releasing out the back. Really nice one to release the back. And then let's keep the knees in towards us, but take the arms out wide. So think of a supine twist kind of position here, where we take the arms out, opening the chest, flattening the shoulder blades to the earth. We're going to inhale at the middle with the knees where they are. As we exhale, just drift over to the right-hand side, but not quite into our twist. So at that tipping point, take an inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, drift over to the left-hand side. And then inhale, come back to center. So just doing that slow movement a couple of times. You could always use a block on either side just to rest down with the side that you're going to if it feels a little bit intense. Keeping the chin towards the chest. So warming up through back and front of body. So any work that we do with fire, we kind of think of core, but we need to think of lower back as well. So they have a direct connection. So just a couple more rolling from side to side. And then next time you're back at center, let's plant the soles of the feet down onto the ground. So if you're not for any reason doing any core work, that's fine. You could just slightly lift here so you can still engage the pelvic floor area and the core area without actually doing the next movement. So placing the feet hip distance apart roughly, feet pressed down, just gently lifting the head and taking the hands behind the head, interlacing the fingers. So it's like we're holding the lower part of the skull, releasing the thumbs. Take the elbows out nice and wide. So you could be here if you're not engaging the core. Staying in that position, so actually feels quite nice. If you're working through gentle core, take an inhale. And as you exhale, start to lift the head and shoulders. We're literally coming up to the shoulder blades here, no further. Let the head feel heavy in the hands. So we're keeping the elbows nice and wide. The gaze is perhaps up towards the sky. So protecting the neck here. Gently breathing. It might feel a little bit more tricky to breathe. Let's take an inhale. And as we exhale, slowly release back down. Take the elbows nice and wide. Inhale on the earth. Exhale to slowly lift up. Inhale, lifted. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale. And exhale to lower. Final one here. We're going to hold it for a couple of breaths. Take an inhale on the earth. As you exhale, lift up with the body. Press down through the feet. Letting the head be heavy into the hands. Taking an inhale. And as you exhale, starting to release the head and shoulders, releasing the arms from that interlace behind the head. Draw the knees back into the chest, maybe just gently hold them. You could circle the knees, rock from side to side. So again, just releasing the back. And your choice here, so you could roll over to one side of the body or take the hands behind the knees. So we're kind of holding onto the thighs. As we inhale, draw the knees in towards us, toes going overhead. And as we exhale, come into a sitting up position. So we're coming into a position with the spine nice and long and the feet out in front of us, soles of the feet down. So sitting nice and tall here, just have a little bit of movement, like find where the sit bones are, get onto those. And you can either have your feet hip distance apart or the toes together. So first we're just going to practice this like really confident tall seat. So we're not rounding forwards, we're rolling the shoulders back. And that could be your Navasana, like that is a boat pose, or taking the hands underneath the knees, sitting tall there, that's also boat pose. Bringing the feet in towards you, lifting the heels. So we're kind of working through the process of each one that we could go for. You could try lifting the toes just one at a time. You could sit back, so we need to lean back, but without rounding through the back, and lift the toes away from the earth. So find whatever works for you. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. And then crossing at the ankles if you can, taking Sukhasana, just gently folding the body forwards, releasing the head, rounding the spine, just letting ourselves find a little bit of ease and softness. So taking a couple of soft breaths there. As we inhale, lifting up through the body, coming into a nice neutral spine position. Just taking a few rolls of the shoulders. Maybe just gently drifting the head from side to side. So all this is still nice and slow, just gently starting to warm and waken through the body. Bringing the fingertips onto the shoulders perhaps, and taking some opens and closes of the chest. Anything else you might like? So remember, this is your practice. If there's something that you know just feels like to warm the body up, then go there. And then releasing our hands into prayer. So there's even effort and ease in prayer. You know, you could push the hands together, find this parallel line to the earth, or just have a softness to the elbows. Let's take an inhale, reach the hands up, see the thumbs. Exhale, sweep out nice and wide. Inhale, palms to the sky, look to see the thumbs. And exhale, back down, just follow the gaze. 2 more like that. Inhale, lifting, gaze and arms. Exhale, sweep wide. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more like that. Start with an inhale, and then just in your own breath. Meeting with the hands back at heart center when you're ready, just gently bowing the head, softening the face and the shoulders, and closing the eyes. So let's spend a moment here just returning to breath. And breathing how works for you. So if you're familiar with Ujjayi and you like it, but also if you find that doesn't kind of like take over your whole practice, the thought of that control of breath, then that's a warming breath. You could try that. If you want something that's a bit cooler, then breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's gently lift the gaze, release from that prayer, and find our way into a tabletop position. So remembering, you can use props, you could use blocks, you could use blankets and just drop down onto the forearms, or even like a blanket or something squishy under the hand can be nice for the wrist. Placing the hands down, spreading the fingers to a comfortable distance. So the shoulders are over the wrist, the hips are over the knees, and we press down to feel engagement and lift through the body. So just experiencing that for a moment there. The gaze is slightly forwards. We're being led forward through the crown of the head and out through the tailbone. Back is nice and strong as well. And let's press down through that left hand. Take the right hand behind the head here. So just gently holding the back of the skull, and then turning the right elbow back towards the earth. Keep the belly button rolled up and in towards the spine. So nice strength through back of body. As we inhale, press through that left hand. Just start to twist and open to the right hand side. Elbow comes up towards the sky. And as we exhale, just gently come in, closing back to center. Inhale. Opening up, and exhale, closing back down. Inhale, open up and lift the fingertips towards the sky. So if you've come back with the shoulder away from the wrist on that left side, that's okay. Or you might feel stronger if you just lean forwards into it slightly. You don't have to gaze up, you could be gazing straight ahead. So take an inhale there, and then as we exhale, turn the fingertips forward. So we're reaching forwards. Hand could be flat down, or you could turn like we're shaking hands. Gaze goes down to the earth, but slightly ahead. And we've got that bicep by the ear on the right side. Either stay there or tuck onto the toes and extend the left toes away behind you. So you could tiptoe onto the earth, or lift the toes away from the earth, keeping the hips in line. So our balancing tabletop, whatever version works for you. Just breathe in there. One more deep breath. And as we exhale, release the hand, release that left knee back down to the earth. And let's start to turn the fingertips either out to the side of the mat or in towards us. So find your edge here. Hands are flat to the earth. Maybe just gently rocking from side to begin with. So there will be some sensation in the wrists. If it feels okay, very gently rock the body forward. So we're not going too far forwards, and then rock the body back. So it might be the tiniest bit of movement to rock the body back, really stretching up through the arms. Just a couple like that. Let's start to turn the fingertips back to center, and then just come down onto the top of that left hand. So the palm is up towards you. Just having a moment to stretch out there. Rotating then through the left fingertips and the wrist, planting the hand back down, turning onto the top of that right hand. So shoulder and wrist can still be in line. Just a moment there. And then stretching out, circling the wrist, clicking out through the fingers. Let's press down now through that right hand. Bring the left hand behind the head. So just gently cupping the back of the skull, turn the left elbow to the earth. Inhale, twist and open. Exhale, turning back down. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale here, lift the fingertips up to the sky if that feels okay. Keeping the shoulder and the wrist in line on that right side. Gaze goes wherever. So the hips might have come a little bit out of line here, that's okay. That's what your body's naturally moving to, that's fine. Take an inhale. As you exhale, turn and reach the left fingertips forward, bicep by ear. So like to me, that's a strong position to be in anyway. But if you want to, you could tuck the toes, extend the right toes away on the mat. So almost like having a hamstring stretch, or lift them away from there. But try not to sacrifice one for the other. So if you've got a really strong position with the front of the body, then, you know, why bring the back of the body into it? Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring the hand down, bring that knee in. Let's take the knees out wide, point the big toes towards each other, bringing the seat back into the heels. So really nuzzle down there. Either just drop into the forearms. You could turn the palms up towards the sky, maybe let the head be heavy or rest the head. Or you could slide the arms forwards and rest the head to the earth or to a prop. So we're going to take a minute here, matching that effort, that kind of exertion that we've just been through. Well, it was exertion for me anyway, at this time of the Sunday morning. So now with a bit of ease. So still in an asana, in our balasana, still the body is doing work there. We're stretching out, we're widening. But can we also just soften, just appreciate that rest? And maybe even refinding our slow, steady breath here. So often, in a place of exertion, even anxiety, stress, then the breath is just held, or the breath goes through the roof with speed. So finding that ease of body and ease of breath. And you are more than welcome to stay here for a few more breaths, or come back here whenever you want to in the practice. If you're moving with me, then we're going to bring ourselves up into our tabletop position. So remembering what we know, fingers spread, that push through the earth to bring this kind of confident lift to the body, tucking the toes back onto the mat. Push the seat back to the heels, the hands stay where they are. Maybe you start to feel like you're pushing into the backs of the hands, even holding onto the fingertips there, so kind of pushing into the mat. Head goes down towards the earth. Let's lift the knees and slowly push the seat up high. And then step your feet to your body's appropriate distance. So is it hip distance? Is it wider? And what do you need here? Do you need to be still? Do you need to have a move around? No kind of right or wrong way for you to move, as long as it's not painful. Maybe walking the dog, maybe just coming forwards and backwards on the wrists if you're working on wrist mobility. Push the seat nice and high. And letting the head be heavy if that works for you. If it doesn't, you could always take the gaze forward slightly. So just breathe in here. Let's start to soften into the knees. As we inhale, we're feeling the body move forwards. As we exhale, stepping or walking the toes towards the backs of the wrists. Finding Uttanasana, our forward fold position. So knees bent, soft spine, hands could be on the earth, on blocks, on a cushion, on a mat. And if having the head heavy doesn't work for you here either, then you can still have a soft spine, but just lift the gaze forward slightly by placing the hands on something that's got a little bit of height. Again, the feet could be hip distance or wider. It's quite nice to take them wider for a bit of space. Then as we inhale, feel yourself activate through the body to find your halfway lift. So the spine lengthens out, the shoulders draw back, soften into the knees slightly. So we don't want to be pushing the knees back, overextending them. The neck and head become active. Just breathe in here for a moment. Next inhale, sliding the hands all the way up the front of the body. As we exhale, rolling the shoulders back. Step your feet to your appropriate distance here, together, hip distance wider. Just making any adjustments and finding Tadasana. So gazing forwards. And then closing the eyes. So how does that feel to come from the earth to standing? How's the body feel? Do you need that little bit of time just to let the breath relax? Gently blinking the eyes open. We'll step towards the front of the mat, but we've got about a hand length of space here. So again, feet at whatever width you wish. We're going to take some half sun salutation. So any type of sun salutation, perfect for creating heat. Hands come into prayer. Inhale, lifting that prayer. You could always incorporate a mini back bend. As you exhale, sweep the arms wide, soften the knees, bring the fingertips to the earth. Inhale, find your halfway lift. So feel that lift through the body. As you exhale, that element of ease as we find Uttanasana. Press through the feet, lift the gaze first if you need to. As you inhale, sweep the arms wide. Finding prayer again, maybe that little back bend. Exhale, hands to the heart space. Just a breath in between. Inhale, lift into the sky. Exhale, sweep wide. Inhale, halfway, activate the body. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep wide, lift up. And exhale, hands to the heart. And just taking one more in your own time. So, you know, it's tricky to match everyone's breath. So whenever you're ready, just taking the half salute. And we'll all meet eventually, but no rush, with the hands in prayer. Let's keep the hands in prayer. We're moving into Utkatasana, so you might want to adjust your feet here. Take a nice big inhale. The prayer reminds us to keep the chest open. As we exhale, sit down into our chair position. So seeing the toes so that we know we haven't overshot the knees too much. That can be quite a strain for the backs of the legs and the ankles. If we've really gone low and pushed the bum out, maybe we can just take it a little bit higher, curl the tailbone under. Just gazing forwards. Take an inhale. As you exhale, just turn to that right hand side. So the head is still above the heart, the head is higher than the seat. If it feels right for you, you'll need to drop the seat down a little bit, tuck that left elbow to the right side of the knee, but then drop the seat and lift the head. So rather than kind of being like this, it's not an inversion, want to drop the seat, lift the head, lengthen the spine, press the hands together. But you know, it's absolutely fine. You're still in your chair twist if you haven't tucked that elbow. Breathe in there. Wherever you are, as we inhale, let's turn to center, lift the prayer up towards the sky. And as we exhale, just release the hands wide. Finding Tadasana. So closing the eyes, finding that ease. Gently blinking the eyes open, bringing the hands back into our prayer. Inhaling, exhaling, taking our seat. So making those kind of adjustments that our body needs. Just gazing confidently forwards. Pressing a bit of weight into the heels, but the toes are still down. Take an inhale. As you exhale, just sweeping over to that left-hand side. And then maybe drop down, tuck that right elbow to left knee, but drop in the seat, lifting the head, lengthen the spine. So you find your variation for your body and move with your body. So if one of your knees overshoots the other, it's quite a common thing to be like, no, bring them back in line. I just say, if that's how your body moves, then that's how your body moves. That's natural movement. Let's take a nice big inhale, sweep round, lift the hands up. As we exhale, sweep wide, soften the knees, traveling down into our forward fold position or your variation if that doesn't work for you. Soften the knees, plant the hands down onto the ground. Let's step the right foot back. So nice long step. If you've drawn the arms back with it, just bring the shoulders and the wrists back in line. Step the left foot back. Shoulders and wrists in line. Drop down onto the knees, drop the tops of the feet. So we're in our plank variation. So lifting through the head to take the gaze slightly forward, shoulders draw back, and the belly button draws into the low back. So just hold in here. Let's then tuck onto the toes. Take an inhale, and you can let the body fall slightly forward, so a little bit of shoulders over the wrist, but not too much. As you exhale, lengthen the arms, push the seat back to the heels, keep the arms active, just take the gaze to the earth. Inhale, keep the belly and the core strong as we come back into that plank variation, slightly lean forwards. And as we exhale, push back, get into the soles of the feet. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Ooh, lost my voice then. Exhale. Either one more like that, or you're welcome to do a vinyasa if you wish. So you could inhale, drop the tops of the feet to the earth. As you exhale, slowly bend the elbows, come down to the ground. Inhale to find that lift of baby cobra, tuck the toes. Exhale, we'll all meet back in that active child's pose, downward dog, melting hot, kind of hybrid position. So just letting the head be heavy, catching the breath. And then walking or sliding the arms in towards you, just drop down onto the forearms, spread the knees, flatten the tops of the feet, and find your variation of your child's pose. So again, after that effort, finding a little bit of ease. Just taking a minute here. So it could be just minutes at a time within your day. You know, if you have a really busy day-to-day kind of setup and you feel like it's overwhelming, maybe you just set, you know, like a minute of every hour, which is nothing really. And that minute is just sit down, lie down, take a child's pose, just breathe, whew, mini reset. Being aware of the flow of breath rather than the flow of body for a moment. And again, you're welcome to stay where you are. You know, you're welcome even halfway through the class to just take Shavasana if you feel that you just need rest or you're like enjoying that rest. It's completely up to you. If not, let's come into our tabletop position. So if the wrists are feeling it, then you can take something underneath the hands or drop down, find that forearm position instead. Let's find an active tabletop position and then we'll just move through the spine a little bit before we move on in our sequence. So with cat and cow, inhaling, lifting the tailbone, open through the heart space, gaze just comes forward, there's no need to really lift it. And as you exhale, push the earth away, chin come into the chest. Just taking a couple more like that. Or maybe there's something else that you like, just a wiggle from side to side. Don't think in terms of asana specific. Just think in terms of what actually feels nice for my body on Sunday morning. And then finding our tabletop, our neutral spine. Tuck the toes onto the mat, push the seat back to the heels. Pushing into the parts of the hands that you feel give you strength. Lifting the knees, pushing the seat to the sky. Keep the hands where they are if you can, so that's like the foundation, but the feet can move wider, further back. Head could be heavy, or again, if that doesn't work, then, you know, don't force yourself to be there. Take the head forwards. Just bending the knees, pushing the seat high. Let's take an inhale as we start to move the body forward. As we exhale, step or walk the toes to the backs of the wrists. Just finding our forward fold position or our variation of a forward fold if we're not feeling the heaviness of the head. As we next inhale, feel that active energy, press down through the feet, lift halfway, Adho Uttanasana. So really like checking in with neck, shoulders, lower back, backs of the legs. Are we strengthening? Next time we inhale, slide the hands up the front of the body. Exhale, roll the shoulders back. Just having a little adjustment, stepping your feet to an appropriate distance. Finding Tadasana. Just gently closing the eyes if you can. So bring that attention, that awareness into your body, into your breath. And feel the effort and ease in Tadasana as well. So that's a really nice one for like balance of energy. So lower part of the body is this more effort part of the body where we're looking for strength, solidity, grounding, and upper part of the body, more of a lightness and open space, softness. Let's blink the eyes open, bring the hands into our prayer. Take an inhale, sweep the prayer up, perhaps bending slightly backwards, soften the knees if you are. As you exhale, sweep wide, fingertips down to the ground. Inhale, activate through the body, halfway lift. Exhale, folding forwards to whatever your degree is. Press through the feet as we inhale, sweep up, find a prayer, maybe a back bend. And as we exhale, hands to heart space. Allowing time to breathe. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, out wide, soft knees. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping back up. So feeling that strength, that confident lift. And as you exhale, hands to heart space. So a moment to catch your breath, and then again, just one in your own time, your own pace there, whenever you're ready, starting with an inhale. And no rush. We'll meet at heart center when you're ready. So it can even be like interesting to know, I've just thought, crikey, my breath is like really quick there. So, you know, whether it's just like real slow floaty breath that you've got, or whether it's a little bit quicker, neither's right or wrong. Hands at the heart space, stepping our feet for our Utkatasana position again. Take an inhale as we exhale, sitting down into that chair position. So remembering all the things that we know, but also remembering what feels nice for the body. So my cues are, you know, like a little bit of guidance, but if something's not working for you, then you adjust it. And really start to feel a press down through the left foot here a little bit. As we next inhale, we're going to rise with the prayer and the right knee up towards the sky. As we exhale, bringing the prayer to the heart space, stepping that right foot back slowly. So finding our high lunge position. Just lengthening up through the spine, gazing forwards, perhaps sweeping the arms wide as we inhale, lifting the fingertips. And as we exhale, just really softening into our lunge position. Shoulders can be soft down the back. Let's take an inhale, reach through the side of the body, join the hands in prayer. As we exhale, bring it back down to the heart space. Press down through that left foot as we inhale. Let's start to bring ourselves forwards, almost through a warrior three. Then as we inhale, lift that right knee up. And as we exhale, just release the hands, release the foot. So a little bit of a balance sequence. Just finding a few breaths of stillness, or even if you just need to move that out. Then refinding prayer and our chair position. So it's always a little bit easier on the second side, because the first side you're like, whoa, where are we going with this? So just holding that there. This time maybe feeling that there's a bit more pressure in that right foot. As we inhale, starting to lift, prayer and left knee. So the left knee doesn't have to be super high. As we exhale, bringing the prayer to the heart space. Stepping back, so we're almost going through warrior 3 there. Soft back knee or press that heel to the earth. Steady yourself with the hands in prayer. Keep them there, or as you inhale, sweep wide, lift up. So to have more stability in any kind of lunge position or with both feet out, just step the feet wider so the left foot would be more left, the right foot would be more right. Let's take an inhale, reach through the side body. As we exhale, bring the hands down into that prayer. Pressing through that right foot, taking an inhale. As we exhale, start to lift and lean the body forwards. Warrior 3 for a moment. Inhale, lifting the hands, lifting that left knee, even the prayer. And as we exhale, step everything down. Maybe just have a bit of a shake out. Then standing, finding your Tadasana. Let's bring the left hand onto the heart, the right hand onto the belly. Just closing the eyes. Just allowing for the body to start to soften here. And we're going to make our way down onto the mat. So stepping to a comfortable distance to the front of the mat, enough space for the hands. We'll come down with our sun salutation, hands into prayer. Inhale, lift up, lengthen through the side body. Exhale, sweep wide, soft knees, fingertips down to the ground. Take an inhale, lifting halfway. And as we exhale, plant the hands down onto the ground. Shoulders over wrists, long step back with that right foot. Readjust the hands there if you need to. Step back with the left foot. Drop the knees down to the ground. Release the tops of the feet. Take the gaze forward, so feel as you start to engage through the body. So our hips and our knees are out of line here. There's almost this heaviness of like the pelvis wanting to draw us forwards and down. Let's take an inhale. You could slightly give into that weight. As you exhale, slowly come down to there. Inhale, open the heart space, roll the shoulders back, tuck the toes. Exhale, push the seat to the heels. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, lift into your final downward facing dog. And then we're going to come with a little jump to the front of the mat. So crossing the ankles if we can. It's just a bit of fun. So, you know, if you make a complete hash of it, that's fine. So bending the knees to get that little bit of momentum. Take a jump, cross the ankles and find a seat. Nice. And then find a nice, comfortable seated position. So if that actually for you isn't with the legs crossed, maybe it's like a straddle to lengthen through the spine. Maybe it's Baddha Konasana. Anything that you need underneath maybe the thighs, if you need to sit on something. And we're going to take our concentration on meditation time. So just closing the eyes. Lifting the spine tall, like have a wiggle of the face. So just get rid of any tension from the face. Checking the shoulders are away from the earlobes. Just the chance to take a couple of deep breaths. And if you have a regular meditation practice, then you're more than welcome to use this time just as an add-on to that. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. Hold my hands up, I don't. This could be a concentration practice. So that's our step before meditation. So finding, if you're meditating at home, it could be like an object that you think in the mind. For the purpose of our practice, let's make it something within the practice. So maybe you concentrate, focus and follow your breath. Maybe almost focus on this kind of like fire in the belly, and that as you breathe, you're stoking this fire, or it could be a yellow kind of glow in the belly. Maybe you've got a mantra. So something within your practice. And we're not like really intensely focusing on this. This is just a gentle thing that we focus on, so that if we catch our mind just like mooching away out of the practice, we go, oh no, yeah, that was the thing that I'm focusing on for now. So we're going to take just 2 minutes, just finding our point of concentration or focus. Take a nice big inhale and exhale. Just gently releasing from that point of focus. Blinking the eyes open. And taking a sip of your drink if you've got one, if you need it, and starting to gather your things around you for Shavasana. And 2 options. So you can either roll down onto the mat if that's where you're going, then we'll come into our kind of like boat position, or you can just bring yourself down into a side Shavasana and roll over onto the back. So whichever you prefer. If we're rolling down, just pressing the feet down to the earth. I go hip distance, you might go wider. Bringing the arms out, palms are facing each other. Just a gentle draw back of the shoulders. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, starting to push the spine away, keeping the toes to the earth so they'll really want to lift. Maybe you stop at a point when they really want to lift, take an inhale and exhale. And then coming all the way down. Let's bring the knees in towards the chest. Just taking that little roll from side to side. So releasing the spine, chin towards chest. Floating the arms out wider. Knees at center, take an inhale. As we exhale, slow, 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 drop them over to the right hand side. So just at that point, dropping them down, taking them higher or lower. And if it feels comfy, keep that left shoulder blade to the earth. So that will help to open out through the chest. If it really doesn't feel comfy, like some days I've got to be honest, that my shoulder just doesn't like that, then you can always just turn it over into more of a side Shavasana. So you're lifting that left arm over the body and just resting on the right side, the right shoulder blade. Perhaps closing the eyes. really starting to work towards our rest here. So be aware that the body temperature might start to quite quickly cool down if you felt that you got quite warm in the standing practice. Just gently turning the head back to center. Take an inhale to lift the knees. And an exhale at center, just realigning the spine. And then when you're ready, drift into the opposite side. So try and just, like drift. Oh, and at that point where they just need to drop, let them gently drop down. Same thing here, keep the arms wide, shoulder blades to the earth, or find what works for you. Like not every day does everything work. And then as you inhale, drawing everything back to center. Drop the feet to the earth as you exhale. Maybe you want to bring the knees back towards the chest to release the spine. Maybe there's something else, just like a stretch, a roll. Again, just think away from yoga asana if that doesn't work for you. Just think movement, shapes. And then setting yourself up for your Shavasana. So the ultimate rest. How does your body, your mind see this as being most comfortable? I would suggest supporting the head. So especially if you're in a side Shavasana, just bringing the head up to a similar height to the shoulder. But even if you're lying on the back, a little bit of something under the head just tilts the chin towards the chest. So it's a more relaxed space for the head and the brain. Do you want covers, pillows, blankets? Like make the most of being at home, get an array of things for comfort. If you're on the side of the body, you might even want something between the thighs or knees. That can be quite comfortable for the back. And even in your side Shavasana, whatever side you're on, maybe you extend that arm away, leaning into the shoulder blade. And just rest in the upper arm somewhere that feels comfortable. If you're on your back, knees could knock in. Legs could go nice and wide. And once you feel you have found just that sweet spot position, closing the eyes. It's almost like this shutdown, this rest from head to toe. And how does the body feel? So releasing, relaxing, just experiencing. It's almost like heaviness and softness at the same time. So the heaviness of just the body like, whoa, just on the earth. But it's also a softening of the edges of the body. A couple of minutes for the mind to relax. So releasing as much mental effort as you can. But if you do need that gentle focus, just to help guide you through your Shavasana, and of course finding that. And letting natural breath do its thing. So knowing for these next couple of minutes, the effort has been done. Just welcome the ease, welcome the rest. for body, for mind, maybe for spirit or soul if that's your belief. Just taking a few minutes in our Shavasana. So knowing you are more than welcome to just stay and rest. Is that what your body needs, your mind needs this morning? If you are ready though to move away from your rest, just do that really slowly. So maybe we just start to gently move the head and neck, give the fingers and the toes a wiggle. And where does it go for you from there? To a stretch, maybe a roll around, just releasing the back, maybe a bit of all of these things. And then if you're not on the side of the body already, and you do wish to come away from your Shavasana, just gently rolling onto the side of the body. Slowly pressing your way up to a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. And you can either bring the hands just onto the heart space, or you could bring the hands into Anjali Mudra, into our prayer. So just sitting nice and tall, but with a soft face, soft shoulders, soft belly. Gently bowing the head and thanking ourselves, our body, our breath, our mind for our practice this morning. And thanking each other for sharing our practice. And of course, thank you so much for joining me, for allowing me to guide you. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. The light and dark in me honours the light and dark within you. Namaste.